Welcome to a very special episode of The Church Office. We are here with my brand new son-in-law, Josh Page.
Thank you.
Josh, welcome. Josh grew up in Ruislip, England, north of London. About how far?
Oh, I don't know. It's 25 minutes on the train into the centre of London.
Okay.
Wait, you're from London? You're from England?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
believe it or not.
Believe it or not.
Thus, I'm going with the Arsenal coffee mug again today. As you can see, Arsenal successfully defeated that
Leon.
team.
Leon.
How do you pronounce that?
Leon.
Leon. Yeah, you don't pronounce anything in England the way we would do over here, which people ask me.
We're not going to say right way and wrong way.
I'm just saying
But-
there's different ways.
Different way.
I was over in London for a week for the wedding. It was awesome. We had a great time. People ask me when I come back, "Oh, Jay, are you talking with a British accent now?" It's like not even close. In fact, I go the other way. When I was over there, I tried to talk as American as I could.
Yeah.
Walk into a pub and say, "I love this bar." Toby Keith, where y'all keep the crumpets. Football would be on television. Like, hey, can we turn this soccer to Talladega? Ryan Blaney's on the pole. I would try to go as American as I could, just because. All right.
Yeah.
All right. We will get into Josh and Becca and how they met, because I think it's an awesome story, and I wanted you guys to meet Josh. Josh, you've got a job here today because as part of the Office episodes, PJ and I are looking for sponsors. And we've had a very hard time.
We thought it would be opening the floodgates as soon as we mentioned
I
it.
thought we'd be beating them off with a stick.
And
No. So, and I think, PJ, the reason is we don't do a really good job with the in-episode live ads.
Yeah.
And that's when you seamlessly refer to a product and then work it into a conversation, because the people then don't know that they're listening to a commercial.
oh,
See?
okay.
See the genius behind
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
They do these all the time on like the golf podcast. They'll say, "Yeah, so-and-so finished with a double bogey. What a disappointing finish." I'll tell you what isn't a disappointing finish. Foster's Lager. Smooth, crisp, whatever. So I asked Josh to bring in some of his favorite items.
Yep.
And Josh, explain these to us here. Just tell us what they are and why these 2 bags of chips are empty, okay?
Yeah. Okay, so I'll start with these. This is Haribo Tangfastics. Spin it around for you guys to see. These are it's kind of sour-ish candy, or sweet as we would call them back home. Got to say that in case any of my friends see this.
You would call this a sour sweet?
This is a sour sweet, yeah, it is, and they're Becca's favorite. So yeah, they're pretty good. I give them like an 8 out of 10.
Wow.
This is a 10 out of 10. This is Galaxy chocolate, and this is something that when I come back from England, I filled my suitcase pretty much with this. And it's a little bit of an addiction and definitely not great for the weight, but yeah.
It looks like a Wonka bar.
Yeah, it's better. It's
Better than a Wonka
it's
bar.
something. I'd fight somebody if they took that off. me.
Wow.
That's probably the only thing I could get around.
Galaxy chocolate.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And then finally, my favorite packet of crisps, chips for everybody at home, and they're flame grilled steak McCoys. The reason that there's 2, there were 6, and they've all been eaten by me. I had 2 left over. Becca left 2, and last night at 2 a.m. they were looking at me. I won and they lost. So yeah, that's my packets of chips.
All right, so we got McCoy's, we got Galaxy, and we got, how'd you pronounce that again?
Haribo Tangfastics.
All right, so here's what's going to, during our conversation, PJ and I are going to somehow work these things into an in-episode live ad, right? We're going to try.
Okay.
Josh, you're going to be the judge at who does it best.
Okay.
All right, we call this the game within the game.
Okay.
All right.
I'm in.
All right, you're good to go.
Good.
Josh, tell us how you came to be an Arsenal fan, because in England, who you support, it's a big deal.
Oh yeah.
It's a huge deal.
Yep.
The football club that you support, and Josh has a great story. I think that'll help us to get to know Josh and his dad, the senior pastor of Ruislip Baptist Church for over 30 years, who just retired. His name is Derek. Derek's a great guy. I've met him twice. He's just fantastic. A great guy. All right, Josh, tell us that story.
Well, he's great, but he supports a different team to me. So I grew up, he's from Newcastle, which is up north, and about 5-6 hours away. So I never ever got to see Newcastle, but I enjoyed watching a player called Norberto Solano. Nothing special. One day they sold him. I was in 3rd grade, and all of my friends were Arsenal fans, and Arsenal were good at that time, I'll be honest. They're close to me, local. So I went home and I said, Dad, I have something to tell you. It was just me and Dad at home. And he said, what? I said, I'm no longer a Newcastle fan. He was washing the dishes and he turned and looked at me. And he said, no, who do you support now? And I said, I support Arsenal. And he didn't say anything. He just walked over to me and just picked me up, opened the front door, put me outside, and left me out there for like a considerable period of time. We often argue how long it was. He says it's shorter. I think it's longer. We can leave that one up to debate, but that's the story behind it, yeah. And Newcastle went on to re-sign Solano 2 years later, but that was it. I've never looked back since.
3rd grade.
3rd grade, yeah.
Third grade.
Love that story. He just picks him up, sets him outside, and Josh is like, well, now what?
Yeah.
It'd be like me coming into, hey, Dad, I'm no longer a Lutheran.
Right.
I now
Right.
want to be Presbyterian.
Right.
Dad picks me up, sets me outside, shuts the door.
Exactly.
That was the, so that's a great story. All right. Now, Josh, just tell us your journey here to America, because at the end of the day, how you and Becca met and basically, came to be, husband and wife, which we're very blessed to have Josh. I think Josh would agree. He's very blessed as well. So it really is a unique and crazy thing. So just tell us what got you from England over here to America.
Yeah, so I was a tennis player growing up, and I used to play tennis kind of all around the world, and that got me onto a scholarship out into America, where I played 4 years and ended up graduating from San Diego University, and then spent a bit of time in Europe, and then got the opportunity to go to the University of Toledo as a grad assistant. I spent a year there wondering what I was doing there. Second year, I met Becca and just was really good friends with her for 2-3 months. And I used to talk about her to my parents. My dad was like, you should ask her out on a date. And I was like, no, it's too good for me. I'm not going to do it. And over time, kind of wore her down. And now I'm married to her, which is amazing. That's a very long story, kind of cut short, but that's how I got out here, all through tennis, not through my brains. But I've got an academic degree because of it. So it's a funny sport can get you there.
Josh, typical is being modest. Okay. Josh was the national champion junior in the country of England at 16 years old.
Yeah.
Right. He's the national champion. Yeah. And I was talking to your coaches, Steve and Pete, and they had something very interesting to say. They said, when Josh won juniors, right? Obviously you're excited. And Steve and Pete, they told me, they said to you, maybe you remember this conversation. All right, Josh, this is where we're at now. We've accomplished this, but there are 130 other tennis players that just won their country's championship. So there's 130 other 16-year-olds just as good as you.
Yep.
Now we got to figure out a way to get to be the best of them.
Sure.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work.
And I think some of those did it better than I did. They're on television. Well, I'm on YouTube right now, so hey, right. I made it.
I'll tell you what isn't a lot of work is enjoying McCoy's flame grilled steak. As you can see, these will not stay in your house for a long time. Neither will Josh Page.
No.
Right? He's going to be shipped off to America on a tennis scholarship. So, no, Josh is being really modest when he says, I'm into tennis. No, he's an exceptional tennis player. And then, so you kind of went into coaching then.
Yep.
And I think what's neat about it is the way in which you've got two things you can do in coaching. Correct me if I'm wrong. You can go the juniors route within the academy or the college route, which you were at Toledo, right? Yep. And so at Toledo, you were an assistant, and that's how you and Becca met.
Yeah. So I was just doing my degree and helping with the men's tennis team as like an assistant coach, and I loved it, had a great time. Unfortunately, COVID kind of happened because I was having a great time. I probably would have stuck around, but COVID hit and changed plans a little bit, and made a bit of a difference. But
so it's kind of and COVID for us is the way in which we got to know you, because rather than fly back to England, it's like,
Yeah.
So that's why Josh kind of, we hosted him. It was like a youth hostel.
Yeah.
Kind of a bit.
Yeah, it's
and that's
funny,
how Josh and I
yeah.
got to know each other, and we played a lot of golf together,
Yeah.
and he got to know some of my friends, played golf with them. And so my favorite thing that Josh said early on, that's when I knew this is going to be a lot of fun to have an English kid in the house, is, as you know, Denise has 2 cats, right? And Josh is looking at the cats, and what he's thinking in his head is, what's the lifespan of cats, right? How long do cats live, right? He doesn't know. So here's how he phrases it. He says, he looks at us and goes, "Hey Jay, how long do cats last?
Yeah.
How long do cats last?" That has been an ongoing joke in our
You were
family.
going there.
You knew you weren't getting out of there with
Yeah,
that.
that one.
You knew you were not getting out of there with that. Tell us about your new opportunity now in Santa Clara.
Yeah, so I've been coaching in Florida for 4 years now, and got this opportunity to get back into college coaching, University of Santa Clara in San Jose. So moving out there in probably 2 weeks or so, starting, and really excited to be working with a good group of boys. The head coach is my best friend's older brother, so I've known him all my life, and it's crazy to think that we grew up in London,
Right.
and now we're going to be a coaching team in San Jose at the University of Santa Clara.
Yeah.
It's amazing how things happen and connections can get you into different spots, and yeah, we are excited. Me and Becca are really excited. So
I'm excited for you. And as you were saying too, kind of the application for us is how God is always doing something. The plan, you might look at it as, God's plan was for me to come over to America so I could do this. No, God had a different plan. God's plan was for you to come over, land in Toledo. God's plan was for Becca to do her undergrad at Bowling Green, master's in Toledo, so that the two of you could find each other. And that's kind of a neat way to think about, no matter where we're at in our lives, God is always doing something. He's always at work behind the scenes. It's kind of encouraging there. All right, so to conclude today, Josh is a huge Office fan. PJ, a huge Office fan, as am I.
Yeah.
So we thought we'd do is share our favorite, either cold opening or / gym pranks on Dwight. Our favorite ones, because sometimes they're one or both.
Yeah.
I'll go with the simple one, and that's,
Okay.
remember when Dwight had the ball that you sit on?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Yep.
And he's bragging about how his core and whatnot.
Yep.
And Jim says to him, "How much that cost?" $20. And he just walks by with his scissors and just bam pops it, and down goes Dwight.
Yeah.
That's just fantastic. That is good. PJ, that might be one that we have to maybe reenact.
Recreate.
But you would have to sit on the ball, because I'm afraid obviously.
Let's check the donation station. See if they've got any of those exercises.
You know they're coming in a dime a dozen once people realize, what am I doing
Yeah,
with this?
yeah.
Or once it deflates and you're like, how do I get this back?
Right.
Because you only get it one time.
Yeah.
All right. Josh, what's yours?
well, I'm a huge Office fan. It's the best show by a mile. I spent the flight home watching The Office, and I'll use one of the scenes from that when he goes into the office and his whole desk is in wrapping paper, and I think Dwight says something like, "I can skin a mule deer in less than 15 minutes. Jim says, "I think it'll take a bit longer than that." Sits down, boom, down he goes. I just think it's amazing, like the effort that went into doing everything for it to be over like this.
Yeah.
But the punchline is just perfect.
Yeah.
That one's mine.
That's good. I think my favorite opening is when you find out that Michael has injured his foot.
That's right.
And then he calls into the office for help.
Yes,
Later on, you
right.
find out that he injured his foot by grilling it on the George Foreman
Yes,
grill.
he stepped on the George Foreman grill.
But he calls in and asks for help, and I need someone to come and get me. I can't drive myself in. And send somebody to come and get me. Anybody but Dwight, because Dwight takes off running, and then they all run. Dwight has run out of the building, run into his car, and crashed into the telephone pole on his way out the parking lot.
But the rest of the episode, then he has a concussion.
And he has a
too.
concussion the whole rest of the episode.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's great.
I love that.
The other great Jim prank is when he convinced Dwight that he might be becoming a vampire.
Yeah, that's good.
With the bat.
Everything's cold.
Jim's gone to the other side now.
I
good show.
noticed at your wedding last night, at the wedding celebration, it could not have been by accident that you played the Office wedding song right away, right? The DJ had to have been prompted on that. Is that correct?
Probably, yeah. It wasn't through me because planning, as I said in my speech,
I'm asking the wrong person.
Yeah. Becca and Denise and other people have done a wonderful job, and I just got to enjoy. Yeah, but The Office is definitely number one for me.
I think Josh and I were kind of the same because I was accused of that when we were in London, of like never helping with directions, because you always got to find where you're walking. So you go to Google Maps and walk here, or take the tube and you can do that kind of a thing. And I was always the guy that was just following. Like I never offered to help, and that was strategy. I didn't have to.
Right.
Yeah.
Why would I figure out where we have to go when I can just sit back and go, "Is this our stop?" "No, Dad." Right?
Perfect.
Why would I volunteer? They're going to take care of me. And they did.
Yeah.
And they did.
Josh, you know my favorite thing it still has been since I heard that you and Becca were getting married. You know my favorite thing about the two of you together? Just a couple of great Hebrew names, getting married together for life. Joshua, Rebecca. That's what I love to see.
Yeah, it's perfect.
You know what else goes really well together?
What?
Is the
I thought that was where this is going.
the tangy sourness and the delicious sweetness that you get with that. Tell me how to say it.
Tangfastic's Haribo.
Haribo.
Yeah,
Haribo candy.
Yeah, we've got to do some work on these. I think it's fair to say,
Well, you know, that's why you're here.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll give
'cause
you some
obviously-
lessons after. I think.
Obviously, we can sell American products, duh. But,
These products take work.
Yeah.
you gotta
right.
get that, Josh. I mean,
This one, though, is not even fair
So that-
because the Galaxy sells itself. If you're looking to stuff your suitcase full of chocolate bars, don't waste your time on
set 'em
anything
up. I
else
set
other
'em
than
up.
Absolutely.
the Galaxy.
Yeah, but don't take it from me though. If there's not enough.
Yes, and it empowering women. What's going on
Everything,
there?
it's a great.
Somehow.
It's
How
just
about
great.
that? Good stuff.
Perfect product.
Josh, it's been great to have you. You fly out tomorrow, and we have managed to finagle an 816 tea time. Right?
Nice and
We should have
bold.
plenty of time to get an 18.
Yep.
Lee will be there. PJ, if you're not doing anything, we got room for a 4.
Okay, sounds good.
Come on, let's do it.
Let's do it. Thanks for joining us. See you next time on the Church Office.